Town2weekly. I'm Mark Gorman, and next to me is Jason Leach. We're going to bring another exciting show before the debate gets going tonight. And here we go. I'm with Tab Now, facebook.com/tabnow. Jason's got
politicallyscrewed.com.
Thank you. And we're going to get started. Jason, what you got for us today?
Let's talk about this Al Smith dinner that President Obama and Governor Romney both attended. Both had a lot of jabs.
Yeah, they did.
And I for once, it was nice to see politics joking at each other.
Yeah.
You know, Mitt Romney having a good laugh, Obama having a good laugh. Granted, I think Mitt Romney's jokes were more geared towards Obama than, let's say, Obama. I think Obama put himself down a little bit more than Mitt Romney did. But both of them did, I thought, an excellent job. What was your take on it?
I enjoyed it because it actually showed the human touch of Mitt Romney that we're not seeing. I'm not just a political figure. I'm an outside-the-box kind of guy. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of Ronald Reagan. He'll get in there, give a good joke, and get a laugh. So I enjoyed it. I watched him and Obama. Obama had a good few jokes, but I don't think he knows how to deliver a joke. That was his problem.
Kind of a little bit uncomfortable.
Like the jokes are good. It's just I don't think he just couldn't say them right.
Well, there's definitely some on there with, that really took stabs at Obama. The media said that, of course, the media said that Romney's jokes towards Obama were insensitive and mean and uncalled for.
Well, big surprise there. My favorite joke, I don't know, we're going to play a little bit of it. I don't know if we'll get to, but Mitt Romney saying, "Too bad Joe Biden's not here." That guy laughs at everything.
Yeah.
So
let's Davis, can you pull up Mitt Romney's joke at that dinner for me, please? Let's listen to a few of these.
Mayor Bloomberg, Senator Schumer, Al and Ann Smith, thank you for your invitation. Thank you for your extraordinarily warm welcome.
They look really good. They're very nice dress.
Very, very much. Thank you. Now, Al, you are right. A campaign can require a lot of wardrobe changes. Blue jeans in the morning, perhaps, suit for a lunch fundraiser, sport coat for dinner, but it's nice to finally relax and to wear what Ann and I wear around the house.
And for those that can't see it, he's wearing a white tie suit. We'll go just a little bit longer on this and get a few more jokes out.
I'm glad to be able to join in this venerable tradition. Of course, I'm pleased that the president's here. We were chatting pleasantly this evening as if Tuesday night never happened. And I credit that, of course, to the Cardinal. He is, it's taken New York's highest spiritual authority to get us back on our best behavior. I was actually hoping the president would bring Joe Biden along this evening, because he'll laugh at anything.
All right, can you pause it? But that's just to give you the basics. I thought the dinner, of course, it's a big charity event that, any presidential candidate that wants to run for office usually attends and has to go to. But both did an excellent job. Mitt Romney had a few more pointers. I love the part where he said, speaking of Sesame Street, this dinner is brought to you by the letter O and the number 16 trillion. Yeah. Hitting at Obama a little bit there. But all in all, not bad. I enjoyed the dinner. It's good to see after the last debate where we thought fists were going to start flying.
Yeah.
To go from that to both the contenders joking around, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, are we going to go with Obama's one, or are we going to move on?
Yeah. Let's see if we play a little bit of Obama's. And sorry, folks, we didn't get set up to the perfect point to get past introductions and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Even he took a jab at Joe Biden.
Otherwise, Clint Eastwood will yell at me.
You gotta like.
Thank you to Al and Nan, to Your Eminence, Governor, Ms. Romney, Governor Cuomo, Mayor Bloomberg, Senator Schumer, all the distinguished guests who are here. In less than 3 weeks, voters in states like Ohio, Virginia, and Florida will decide this incredibly important election, which begs the question, what are we doing here? Of course, New Yorkers also have a big choice to make. You have to decide which one of us you want holding up traffic for the next 4 years. Tonight, I am here with a man whose father was a popular governor and who knows what it's like to run a major northeastern state and who could very well be president someday, and I'm hoping it is Andrew Cuomo. This is the third time that Governor Romney and I have met recently. As some of you may have noticed, I had a lot more energy in our second debate. I felt really well rested after the nice long nap I had in the first debate.
All right, that's good. And just to be fair, I was keeping time, and Obama got more time in that video.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm throwing it out there. Anyway, so let's. I want to refer back to, before we get into this next debate coming up tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I want to talk about the debate previously where it got so heated between the two of them over oil and over this whole Benghazi incident.
Okay.
And I'll let you get your points out first.
With the whole, I just wish that we had it clear day one. If you don't want to discuss what's going on, that's fine. Say we're handling it, but don't come out with, oh, it's the video. Oh, it's not the video. It's, let's just move along and say, okay, we're investigating the situation right now. We have sensitive intel that we don't want to release right now. Let's just wait until we figure out what's going on. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of Americans are red-blooded, and they just want to, once something bad happens, they want to get out there and start fighting. And it's bad for the morale of the world when we do stuff like that. Now, that's just my take on it.
So, we sit here and talk about, well, who do you think won that battle? And when they talked about
the moderator.
Well, when they sit there and talk about Benghazi, and then the moderators acted as a fact checker, it was like Romney's debating two Obamas.
Yeah.
At one given time. Now, to give her some credit, after admitting that she thought the president was right with calling it an act of terror in the Rose Garden, she did say it took the president's administration 14 days to clearly call it a terrorist attack, because it's all based off this video, on a YouTube video.
But the moderator's job is to moderate, be in the middle.
It's really the timekeeper.
Yeah, and pushing the subject
Yeah.
along.
They should sit there and keep time and be like, you know what, Mr. President, please shut up and sit down. You know what, Governor Romney, please shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
Y'all have gotten both your 2 minutes.
And if she's going to check his points, he needs to check Obama's points at the same time. So it's unfair that she did that. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I researched the Rose Garden speech, and Obama he does say act of terror in his speech.
Right, but
but he doesn't call it a terrorist attack.
But what some people pointed out, that he was referring that he was saying yesterday was 9/11, the
Correct.
anniversary.
It was
so
connected with 9/11.
Right, so he wasn't necessarily saying what happened in Benghazi. Was
the 9/11 that we know.
Right, was an act of
where
terror.
over 3,000 lives were taken. That's what he was referring to when he said act of terror.
Not necessarily the Middle
Correct.
East.
I mean, he had Hillary Clinton came out and called it and blamed on the video. His administration came out and blamed on the video. What's her name? Miss Rice, the UN. Susan Rice, thank you. Our UN ambassador came out on 5 talk shows, on a Sunday talk show, and claimed it was on the video.
Yeah.
Obama himself went on the View, because that's the place where you want to go and get your points out. But he wouldn't even answer that it was an act of terrorism 14 days after the fact.
Yeah.
So I don't, I think, and the reason why I bring this Benghazi thing up is because I think it brings to the light of the foreign policy debate that we got coming up tonight. And will Obama trip, or will he stand stern like he did in the previous debate?
Well, it's no doubt that it's going to be brought up. I truly believe it. What Mitt Romney needs to do tonight to win this is to go in there, be calm, and act presidential, and not try and fight over all the issues. Just get his points out and let Obama look like a bumbling fool, and then he'll win it automatically right then and there. Because people are expecting Romney to come out even harder, but you don't want to give him that. You want to look like a president.
What about the most heated part I thought of the debate last week, where it was over oil production? President Obama comes out and says, "Well, oil production under my administration's increased. It's on the rise," but it's not.
Yeah.
It is on privately owned land, but not on government-owned land. It's actually decreased by almost, from the statistics I've seen, 46 to 50%. So Governor Romney's right when he says, no, under the government's production of oil on our property, or on our lands, it is down by 50%. Yeah. And Obama was dead wrong, and he wouldn't answer that question as to what percentage rate he's cut those permits down.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Saturday Night Live did it right. They did a mock debate of that whole situation where it was a back and forth.
They did one on that one? I haven't seen that one yet.
Well, it's funny, like, Obama's like, can you say it louder? Yeah, walks up to Romney, takes his microphone and does this, like, done. And just walks off. And Kennedy's like, and that will conclude the debate.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened. Once that happened, the debate was over. Because Romney had no traction at that point to go any further with it.
Who's your winner of the debate?
Winner, when you break it down, I think Romney did it. Obama won only because he did what everybody wanted to do.
Well, he had so much to do in order to come back from that miserable first debate.
What do you mean? He didn't have to do anything. All
he had to show up.
Yeah, and he was already doing better. So that's why he won, because everybody wanted him to do better, and he did better. Even though he didn't do good, everybody was happy with that. That's how I look at it.
I think Obama came out a lot more energetic, and he had to. He came out more defensive and stood up for his beliefs, which I thought he did a good job. I thought both failed to connect with a town hall true debate and talk to the people that were actually in that debate. Yeah. You know, they're so busy eyeing each other like this right here. Yeah. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. You know, not true. Yeah. That's Obama. It's part of our drinking game that we had. The word's not true because he says it all the time.
Not true.
But they wouldn't talk to the people that are actually in the audience, are the ones asking the questions. And I thought both of them failed at that miserably.
They weren't reaching to the middle crowd. They're only talking towards their own parties. Nothing they really said was towards the independent voters, which was what they need to do. The
research that I've done shows that Obama didn't pick any momentum up from that debate. Mm-mm. You know, a lot of the news agencies said he won a debate, but he, unlike Mitt Romney in the first debate, he didn't pick up that momentum. Yeah. That I think he needed. And it's really going to come down to this final debate.
All right. If Mitt Romney does really good tonight, you'll see something. But if they just do what they did last week, nothing's going to happen.
So who's got the momentum then?
If nothing happens, or
like my opinion is that's right now Mitt Romney's got the major momentum. If you look at the poll numbers both in nationally and in the swing states, I mean he's taken Obama's 12-point lead in some states and dropped it down to 4. Yeah. You know, look at Ohio. Romney's only behind by 4 points. That's an easy pickup for him. Yeah. He's picking up the vote under women. It's starting to all come together. He's got a 12-point percentage point lead when it comes to independent voters. He's got double-digit point lead when it comes to men voters. Like right now, I don't see, unless Romney does horrible tonight.
Yeah, I mean he'd have to do absolutely horrible to lose any momentum.
Correct, because I think people are starting to see that he's not. You know, when they watch him in his debates, they don't get that feeling that he's this evil rich guy. You understand what I'm saying? Like the Obama administration is trying to portray him as. Yeah.
Now, I'd like to point out, we do have a phone to the show. If you want to call in and give your opinion, 678-395-8609. 678-395-8609. Will, you got anything over there? You're kind of quiet.
Not yet. I'm just monitoring these chat boards.
Anything interesting on this chat board?
Well, they're just basically mentioning what about the states where his son owns the voting machines, Russ Romney, and
I haven't heard about that.
If it comes down to it, I am calling for a Royal Rumble. But right now, I'm just continuously looking.
You know, it's funny you say Royal Rumble because you watch the Twitter feeds coming out there with the Obama supporters, and a lot of people saying if Obama loses this election, they plan on rioting in the streets. Do you have a feeling or sense of feeling that if Obama loses the election that we'll face race riots? No. Only because he's black?
No, I mean no more than what we had before in the past. I mean we have little pockets of isolated incidents that have happened, but nothing to the extremes that we'll see. I really don't. I mean, come on, it's like you always point out. The voters don't even pay enough attention to realize what's going on when you talk about who's the vice president, who's Condoleezza Rice, and all that. You know, you think they're really going to remember, oh, yeah, it's election night. Oh, let me tune in like we do for 24 hours until we find out who the results are. You know.
Except there when Bush won in 2000, and it took 30 days.
Yeah.
Actually, it took till next year, didn't it? The Supreme Court had to decide on that one. That was a long one.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm saying people, they're not gonna. I just don't see it because the people that voted for him aren't as enthusiastic this time about voting for him.
Yeah, but we've seen the mob gatherings of the unions, and we've seen what they can do as far as violence and being aggravated and things of that nature. That would worry me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous, and I'm ready for it to be over by now. 2 weeks to go. If we can hurry
15 days. We are now down to 15 days to the election.
15
effing days.
So, but in good
those
news,
who know us will get that joke.
But in good news, though, for Obama, he does have the support of Chavez, Castro, and Putin.
Oh, those are great people to have behind you.
Well, to be fair, though, it's not the Fidel Castro, but it's the... I think it's Marilla Castro. Yeah, she's the government official and daughter of Cuban dictator Raul Castro, and she proclaimed her country's support for Obama. How great is that?
The worst one up there, because I don't see her power being that great, but the Hugo
speaks
Chavez and Vladimir Putin,
yeah.
Both are a little bit scary. Vladimir Putin definitely does not want Obama to lose this election. It comes down to the defense shields of the U.S. Where Obama's moved and where Romney could easily put him right back in place again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hugo Chavez has been said Obama is a good guy.
Well, it's just like it brings you back when he was talking to Vladimir Putin's assistant, where he said, "Wait."
At the time.
Do what?
I think that was the president, and then they were switching out, so he was kind of like passing on the word.
No, that was after President Obama became president.
No, I'm talking about the other guy. Was the president?
Okay. Correct. And he said, and he told him, he said, wait till I win this election. I'll have a lot more flexibility. And something to that effect. Don't give me on the exact words, because people are going to probably be fact checking that.
Fact checking.
But
the new guy.
But he clearly said that, and no one's worried by that. Like I would be.
Yeah.
What do you mean by flexibility?
Yeah.
Like you can bend over, kiss your own ass. I don't know what kind of flexibility he's talking about.
Yeah. What are you trying
It means that he's got 4 years where he answers to nobody, not even the Congress.
Yeah. It's sad because we've already seen some of it played out where he just does what he wants to,
and that's with having to answer to people.
Yeah, but granted, he's not the only one that's ever done it.
Have they donated to the campaign?
Oh, illegally.
Or
probably.
The super PACs?
I heard of a story, and I can't cite you the location of where it was, but they did a study where a guy tried to donate to Romney's campaign using the UK address, but like an American zip code, couldn't do it.
Oh, I heard that.
But then he did it to the Obama campaign, and the money went right through because they don't do the verification.
That's been kind of brushed on the rug. It came out for like one day where they were talking about.
It came back today. I heard it.
Did it come back today?
Yeah, I heard
where
it.
Obama administration was going to be looked at for possible.
But according to the Federal Finance Commission or whatever that regulates the campaigns, there's no law against it. You're independently as a campaign. It's up to you to make sure that your money's coming in legally.
Well, they also another trick that they've been doing is. I think it was $2,500 per individual, right? They're taking that money and they're able to go out and buy, all these $100 the American Express cards, and then donate those to the campaign. So going beyond that law that stops them at $2,500.
Wow.
But I guess when you got super PACs, that's all that matters.
Hey, Will, who are you voting for?
Let's just say it's not Obama.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I am positive, especially since, our wonderful deficit that everyone's saying, oh, it was not his fault. It was previous presidents. Oh, it's not his fault.
I talk to people about that, and I tell them, I was like, if you took $1 trillion off what Obama's added up in his 4 years, let's take $1 trillion automatically off and give that to George W. Okay? Obama has still outspent the George W. Bush in 4 years compared to his 8 years in office.
And actually, a good friend of mine, he actually mentioned about, how it was Obama and everything else. And he was just saying that, before Obama, it was, Bush and Bush's fault for the deficit. And I said, I said to him, okay, well, look, he had 4 years. If a deficit was a concern, which it was, they broadcast it all over the news channels, just to make sure they, do what they have to do to ensure that we don't, crash, but why did he have to, in the first 4 of his term, come out with this Obamacare? How come in the first 4, if he was for change, change our spending and change our deficit
and change Washington?
Exactly.
But he hasn't done anything. He hasn't lived up to his promises or his words. And I think that he's definitely declining when it comes to the poll numbers. And I think it's, the people that really know me know that I've been upfront honest and been really worried about this election, only for the simple fact I thought there was nothing that Romney could do to even make it a close election. I thought Obama had it in the bag. He's getting 4 more years. But the more and more that's coming out, the more and more you look at the numbers, I think people are starting to wake up. They're starting to realize, and I have a feeling Mitt Romney can pull this out if he has a good debate tonight.
Well, if it matters.
Hey, Mitt Romney pulls out. I want you to quote me on that.
Honey Boo Boo did come out and support Obama.
Okay, really? Really?
Hey,
Honey Boo Boo? We had to go Honey Boo Boo style on us?
Yeah, maybe that might be Obama's go-go juice. Who knows?
Listen. Yeah.
I just want to mention too that I've actually done some research, and some people are actually saying that Mitt Romney actually cheated on the debate. That there was video footage of him going into his pocket and taking out cue cards. And I think a lot of people need to understand that they take notes.
If anything was in his pocket, it's because he wrote on.
If either one of them wanted to cheat, they don't need to pull anything out of the pocket. You put a little microphone in your ear where no one can see it.
Yeah.
And let your campaign talk to you. I mean, let's be for real.
Candy could put anything under her skin. Nobody would see it.
Oh man,
Yeah,
rub it around and flower and find that sweet spot. Okay.
I went there.
Yeah, you did. I want to get on to, if you don't mind me bringing up another topic.
No, go ahead.
If y'all follow me, I'm at www.politicallyscrewed.com. My new blog that came out just the other day. Are stupid voters the future of America? And the reason why I say this, the more and more videos that come out, the more I realize that people are voting and have no effing clue why they're voting for that person. Mm-hmm. They see the D for Democrat, the R for Republican, and that's where they go. Yeah. Let's take a look at 2 of these videos I'm going to show. I'll send you the other one here in a minute. We're going to play the first one. This is questions, the Main Street questions at a Obama rally in Ohio, asking about the Benghazi incident. Go ahead.
So what do you guys think of the situation in Benghazi?
I have no idea.
You guys know who Ambassador Christie is?
No.
What do you think was the cause for the attacks on the ambassador?
Well, I think really that the Republic got it.
I just said it.
What do you girls think of the consulate attacks in Benghazi?
They have no clue, and they're young.
Are you aware of the consulate attack in Benghazi?
It's like Bill
No.
No, I'm not aware of the consulate attacks.
I'm not really sure about that.
What do you guys think of how the president handled the consulate attacks in Benghazi?
Turn it up a little.
Turn it up a little bit.
I'm really uninformed about that issue, and so I'm sorry I can't really help you with that. But
The attacks in Benghazi.
It comes down to foreign policy.
How do you think the president handled the situation in Benghazi? No.
It's stuff in Libya where that ambassador was killed and all those riots.
So I mean, he didn't care. He just brushed it off his shoulders. That's pretty. That's leadership right there.
Are you aware that Ambassador Chris Stevens was murdered in Benghazi?
No, I'm not. When did that happen?
Do you know who Ambassador Chris Stevens is? Do you know who Chris Stevens is?
No, I'm not really sure. I know something happened and like,
That should be good. That's good. Cut it off.
So do you know who Ambassador Chris Stevens is?
That's good. Now, as somebody pointed out, it's kind of like a tornado at a trailer park. The news shows up, and of course, they just hit the people who are willing to talk, or you interview so many people, you use the sound bites you want, and that could be true. But it's just sad that we live in a country where there's such a lack of knowledge, and then people complain about a problem, but yet they're part of the problem by
Correct.
not knowing what's going on.
Correct.
You need to stay involved and informed. That's kind of like the point of the video. That's my perspective.
Yeah, the other one.
Not yet.
All right, while he's getting the other one up, yeah. So that goes with the big guys against it, where, again, like the person points out here, they interview a lot of people and they only broadcast to ones that have no idea. He wouldn't be saying that if it was CNN. He wouldn't be saying that if it was MSNBC.
Okay.
I'm just trying to bring a point out there. They all do it.
No, you're right.
The next video, once he gets it up, after we skip this ad, this is Howard Stern, his Man on the Streets. We've played this video before. This is actually pretty hilarious and interesting, where they think, Paul Ryan is black and the vice presidential candidate for Barack Obama. Can you go ahead and play that?
You're trying to change the U.S.
Absolutely. And what do you like that he's done so far?
I mean, got the Medicaid and all that, the medical thing going. You know what I'm saying? He got most of the jobs like he said he would. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and he really improving, but he need to improve more, so he need to stay on up in so he can do more, you know what I'm saying, things.
That guy might be awesome.
Yeah. Do you hope he will eventually find and kill Bin Laden?
He'll eventually do it, though.
You think he'll eventually find him and kill him if he wins this election?
Every person they interviewed, about 10 people.
They didn't know that Bin Laden was dead?
I'm telling you, I can play every one of these interviews. They don't know Bin Laden's dead over wherever the hell Sam Richard was.
This guy knows what day it is.
Yeah, I know. But this woman, I would have thought, this woman sounded very with it. Listen to this.
Do you know who you're going to vote for in this election?
Obama. I just don't like Romney.
What is it about Mitt Romney that you don't like?
Is it that he's pro-choice or?
Yes, and it's just his general, it's him in general. I just don't like him.
Because he's a Muslim?
It has nothing to do with religion or what his views are. I just don't like him.
Do you think Obama made the right choice
Why
by
should you
choosing
say, I don't like him because he's
Paul Ryan
white?
as his vice president?
Yes.
And do you think he picked Paul Ryan because he's African American or because he's qualified?
It could be a little bit of both.
And do you think McCain has a shot this time out to beat Obama for this election?
No, I just don't.
All right, so that just brings out a few, because there's a lot of people on here. They're right. They interview so many people, and they only put the ones on there that they want to go with. That makes a better show for them.
Just point out the mic was too loud. I mean, the volume was.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But it just goes to show these are people that vote.
Yeah.
These are people that cancel out my vote. These people cancel out your vote. You know what I mean? Should there be some kind of test? Should everybody have the right to vote?
Actually, not everybody does in the presidential election.
Not in the presidential election, but in the congressional election, they do.
Right.
The presidential is based off the electoral college,
Right.
as we all know. But if you look at a lot of the states in the electoral college, it's a win-all type state. So if you win the popular vote of that state, you get all the electoral college votes for that state. So therefore, your vote does still count in this presidential election.
Yeah, but I do think everybody should have the right to vote.
You think they should? You think people like that?
Unfortunately, yes. Because that's what we fought for. That as a revolution, that's what we fought for. Was freedom. Was the right. Now, do some people take advantage of that right to vote? When you vote to put money from somebody into your pocket, money from somebody else into your own pocket, yeah, you're destroying your vote. But I don't know. It's a touchy subject. I just wish our schools would teach better. If they taught politics better, and people had a better understanding of what's going on and how it really works. Because you ask a lot of people, well, where does the money come from? The government. Well, where does that come from? The government. I don't know. Obama's stash.
Yeah, the Obama stash. I don't know. I know it's free. He's giving it to us.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I just don't think there should be restrictions on people who should be allowed to vote or not to vote. That's just my fair opinion.
I mean, do we even have a right to vote in the Constitution?
Statewide. I think each state gives you the right to vote, and the overall Constitution, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact it's not guaranteed in the presidential right to vote. And anyway.
Well, that's my point. I don't want stupid people vote in the election.
No, I don't want them to, but I think they have a right to.
And I don't care if you vote for Obama and you're educated and you've researched Obama and you still believe his policies and his views, then vote Obama. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I just don't want stupid voters voting.
No, I feel you.
All right, I'm done with that rant. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's the key. Like I said, if we can educate people better. But I mean, look at the public school system. No, sorry, the government school system.
Yeah.
So.
What do you got?
You know, the biggest thing too is, you know, I know it's coming down to last minute. You know, this is the last debate and all, and I just wish, you know, you know, this deficit it definitely needs to be fixed, and I think it's time for a business person to walk in. And you know, sometimes too, I've had friends says, "Oh, it's just a racial thing. That's what it is," and it's like, no, it's not at all.
Correct.
You know, if Herman Cain was still running, and he was trying to get elected, I would vote for him in a heartbeat.
if he stopped touching females.
I know.
Which I don't know if he really did that or not. But I was a big time Herman Cain supporter. You know that. You're a big time Herman Cain supporter, and unfortunately, you know, America's just not.
Sorry.
I was gonna say America's not ready for that in your face, tell it like it is candidate. It's really sad because that's really what we need.
Well, when you run for office, you have to run in the middle. That's just been proven. Just like Mitt Romney, and Obama did. Obama ran in the middle. He's like, I'm going to bring partisan down. You know, I'm going to reach across the aisles. I'm going to get us to all work together. Now in this campaign, he's just bashing the Republicans, bashing Romney. You know, and that's just it. And once they get into the office, then they come out with their own ideas and go, what the people who pushed him say.
I think Romney needs to keep playing off Obama's words. If you just stick to what Obama said, he's going to win the election. Obama said if he couldn't fix this economy in the 4 years that he had, he would be a one-term president. He said that.
Yeah. No, I'm laughing at the chat room. I'm sorry.
Okay. Then let's hold him up to that.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You said you're one. Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Well, and you know what's so unique too is with the military presence, you know, overseas and all that, and you know that is money coming out of the United States, and I just loved it how, you know, he promised that he was going to ship troops back home. He's going to bring them back home, you know, within the timeline that they have. And what was so unique, a lot of people argue because they're saying, oh, well, when Romney gets in, he's going to keep him over there. And Romney said over and over again that he believes in the timeline that's already set. And it's so unique. But I've actually have friends that are serving overseas right now, and they're saying they're short-staffed, they're short-handed because of Obama pulling out troops.
And I don't think, given the timeline, listen, you can sit there and say it's going to come close to pulling out the troops, but I don't think, given a timeline, and letting your enemies know exactly when you plan on leaving, so they know exactly how long to wait before they attack.
And Romney actually said that perfect.
Yeah, he did. What else you got?
Honestly, well, I mentioned the illegal funds coming in. Did you have an opinion on that one? The fact that you can, if you're donating to Obama, you can illegally donate. If you're donating to Romney, you can't. If you're living outside the country. And they put a number up. Obama received $4 million and some odd change, and Romney received $250,000 worth of illegal funds from unregistered accounts or credit cards or whatever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Then I heard another thing about the NAACP requesting the UN to come in on November 6th to regulate voting in some key states.
For what?
To make sure there's no voter suppression because of voter ID.
Give me an effing break. How hard is it? In the state of Georgia, we have to show ID in order to vote. I show my effing ID, I place my effing vote.
Yeah. I
don't understand what's so hard about it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You show your ID when you go to other places. Federal buildings, you have to show ID. When I was down in Washington, I was sightseeing. I went to a parking garage. I had to go park.
Yeah.
I had to give my ID. I had to get out of the car. They had to search my vehicle and search my trunk. I had no issues with that.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the big issue is.
To get into the studio, I had to show an ID.
You know, well, poor people don't have IDs. Well,
you can get one for free if you can prove you're poor. Well, I don't know how you prove you're poor, but you know,
if you're wearing rags and you smell like shit, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can prove it.
There's a little form or something you fill out, like I forgot what it's called, but
I don't understand their argument of this. If the Justice Department isn't going to sit there and take on the Black Panther Party who sat outside a voting area with clubs in their hands, intimidating voters as they walked in, why do we need federal agencies around the voting place to make sure that this election is handled the correct way?
It suppresses their vote. That's the problem. They think that Democrats aren't going to come out if they have to show their ID. I mean, it's a simple process, and it's funny that the states that they want the UN to come to are swing states for the most part.
They're all swing.
Well, Texas, I don't know. Texas was.
No, Texas is dead. Probably.
Texas is on that list of states they wanted them to come to, and it's
don't
funny.
mess with Texas.
It's funny because the UN people would come from Kazakhstan and another country. Could you imagine somebody from Kazakhstan telling somebody in Texas, "Sir, you can't do that."
Why is the UN even involved? I mean, seriously.
Well, most of the countries in Europe, you have to show ID, and yet they're going to punish us. I'm sorry, I left Europe a long time ago for a reason.
There's nothing wrong with having to show ID for voting. I don't see what the problem is with it.
I don't either.
In order to get to the White House, I have to go to the congressperson who has to give me approval to go. Then I have to show ID for Congress. I'm pretty sure they do a background check on me before even trying to visit the White House.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to get approval.
That suppresses I pay for that house.
You have to get congressional approval to go to
from my congressman member.
Isn't that ridiculous?
For something that I pay for.
Yeah. Again, our number is 678-395-8609.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, go ahead. Call in, John. I see you out there.
Yeah, we see you.
Uh-huh.
Skating on the facts there.
678-395-8609. Okay, the debate's tonight.
The debate is tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Yeah. Now, I think Romney needs to show up and just be as professional as possible and don't try and attack Obama. Then he'll win.
I'm worried. Romney's the business guy, okay? He's got business down to a T. He could probably sit there and smack Obama across the face all over that stage when it comes to the economy. My worry is foreign policy. Does he have that foreign policy experience? People always say, Mitt Romney has no foreign policy experience, so he shouldn't be president. Well, hell, neither did Obama.
Yeah, no, most presidents don't have a foreign,
But Obama still got elected president. And he still got that chance to try to fix it.
Yeah.
So the question is, does Mitt Romney hold his own against President Obama tonight in a foreign policy debate?
I don't think Mitt Romney needs to say much because Obama's going to stumble on himself.
Well, let's look at the issues coming up. You got definitely Benghazi's coming up.
You got China.
You got China coming up.
Yeah.
You got Iran.
Yeah.
That's going to be another hot topic in the debate tonight. How do you sit there and say Obama's done a weak job? Benghazi, you can easily say he's done an extremely weak job handling that incident. Mm-hmm. But Obama's going to come out and say, well, I killed Osama bin Laden.
And he said that, I think, once or twice in that last debate. He threw it in there.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to spike the football.
Yeah, we're not going to spike the football, but I killed Osama bin Laden.
Osama's dead and Benghazi.
Yeah.
What was that show?
No, was it? Osama's dead and I saved the auto industry. That's what it was. I don't know. I'm really kind of worried about where Romney's going to be. Hopefully he's done his homework. Again, I think this is another debate that Obama's going to come out and be perfect in order to gain traction. Because if he stumbles like you think he's going to do, Romney takes that momentum all the way to the election.
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 weeks left. It's enough time to mess up and not be able to recover, but it's also enough time to just coast your way in. And I really think the enthusiasm for Obama is not there. And it's not there like it was in 2008, and that people aren't going to show up like they did.
Correct.
I mean, I'm just hoping American Idol is on or something that night. Just
to get away from the voting?
Yeah, just something to or Michelle Obama said, make sure you vote early. I quote, make sure you vote early because your toilet might be overflowing or something.
But that's a good point because I did vote early.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
with
it.
But my toilet did not clog up. I'm sorry. It did not clog up.
There's a better argument than your toilet's going to overflow. If my toilet's overflowing, Mrs. Michelle Obama, is because of Obama, okay? And all the shit that he's bringing.
Yeah.
That plain and simple.
What do you got? What is your opinion, Will, on the debate tonight?
Well, the thing is, I was kind of dissatisfied with the last debate, but I don't want to go into that. But
why?
The Q&A. I mean, it was okay. There's questions to be asked, right? Mm-hmm. So, question was asked from the audience.
Which, by the way, is the first time this election I heard anybody. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But the first time I ever heard since the election started, immigration. Immigration has been on the back burner.
And they skipped over it like they didn't want to talk about it. They really didn't get into it.
Yeah. Obama's like, Dream Act.
Yeah.
And then Romney's like, Dream Act.
Was it Romney's dad or granddad that was a immigrant from Mexico?
I want to say his dad, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you know,
Yeah, it was because his dad moved up here, became a governor of the state.
I just thought it was interesting because, as they were asking questions, this is a debate.
Correct.
And after the questions were asked, they each had their turn, even though their time frames were a little different. And then to a point where they were starting to actually debate about that particular question, they got cut off because they want to move on to the next.
Well, Romney got cut off a lot more than Obama did during that second debate. Thank you, CNN.
And honestly, with this particular debate, I would actually want to know what these, what Obama and what Romney's going to do, even about the foreign affairs that we face today with China and with Russia, and even with some of the issues that we've seen online, where you could see the Chinese ambassador was wondering why United States military was actually in Australia. And it just shows that there is this friction going on overseas with these two countries, and what is the president or what is Trump going to do about it?
What's your tips for both? What does Romney got to do in your opinion, and what does Obama have to do?
Well, I think we shouldn't be tap dancing around the issues. I think one would definitely be the deficit. We need a budget. We need a plan. And I definitely think they need to talk about that. And on top of that too, you're absolutely right. When the last, the debate, the question was asked about the immigration, and I think they need to talk about that more too, and what they were trying to do for the United States, and also those that would like to come to the United States the right way versus.
Well, because Romney missed I thought Romney missed a great opportunity to hit his softball out of the park. He should have looked at President Obama and said, unlike you, Mr. President, you're supposed to follow the oath of office, which is uphold the laws that have been passed.
Yeah.
Not tell your administration to ignore laws that are on the books. Is the DREAM Act is the DREAM Act and what the president's trying to do, is it wrong? No. I can agree with him. If you're brought here illegally by no intentions of your own because you're a young child, you shouldn't be punished for that. I feel what you're saying. But you can't go out and just do whatever you want to do and not uphold the laws that have been passed by Congress.
Yeah.
If Obama was that passionate, he had 2 years. Full congressional power. Full executive power under the Democratic Party. And the only thing he could do was pass Obamacare. He had 2 years where he could have accomplished all this. Instead of working on Obamacare, he should have been focused on the economy.
Yeah.
Job losses, real estate.
And he cannot argue his 4 years in office. That's why he gets so frustrated, because someone's actually calling him out on it. But again, Romney missed a point when it came to that immigration. Another thing that they haven't asked during this election in any of these debates, and I know it's not going to come up in foreign policy, but homosexual marriage, gay marriage.
Yeah.
Obama came out right before, right when the election was getting hot and heavy, and said, "I'm for gay marriage." Nobody's talked about that.
I'm sorry, you said hot and heavy, and he's
hot and heavy for gay marriage, but no one's talking about it.
Right.
I don't know where Romney stands on that issue. I can only imagine that he believes in traditional marriage, which for me would be a downside, because I think gay marriage should be legalized.
Jason is hot and heavy for gay marriage.
I am hot and heavy for this topic because again, I look at it as a civil rights issue of getting equal opportunity for everybody. But that's another issue they haven't brought up yet, which it's kind of depressing because we're going to go another debate without hearing their stance on that.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing too about the previous debate, they talked about women's rights and equal pay, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, where is that? And where's the uproar of women to say this isn't right? It's in the federal laws that equality. If you look at other employers, they have the little federal law poster hanging up for basic minimum wage, and when I was looking at that, and questions that are coming out for that, I was just curious about is that a true issue, and if so, why didn't they hit that heavy as well? Also looking at it too is kind of going to be a little off topic here.
That's
but
fine. We like off topic.
Yeah. I just think though, a true debate, like the last one, it was disappointing. The moderator, everything about it, and what was so unique about it. Did y'all see at the very ending of that debate where Obama talked with someone?
The gentleman that asked a question about Benghazi.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just talking with him off air, and there was no open mic or anything like that. And I just thought that was interesting because, I thought during those particular debates, especially the undecided voters, they were not permitted after that debate to talk with the audience.
I don't have an issue with that at all.
Well, I just
once the debate's over, I really don't have an issue with.
Well, I found it convenient that he went up and said, "Well, let me really explain my answer to you."
And he did do that.
That was kind of.
He did do that.
So.
But let's,
Okay, but did you not see in that debate where these people came in with their own questions, right? And they're pulling out their paper. They're like, "My question was like, if I knew I was going there to ask the president a question."
But you get nervous.
Okay, fine. You have it. I agree. But the lady's like, "My question is this: what are you going to do with it?" And she lists off all these things. And it's like, "Oh, and I can't remember." She pulled out a piece of paper. It's like, "Oh, school reform. That's the most important one I was going to ask you." It almost felt like these questions were laid onto them, like they weren't the ones really asking.
Well, the questions were definitely pre-screened before they.
Right, but I don't think some of these people, these weren't their questions. Like the DNC or the RNC came up and was like, "Hey, this is what we want you to ask." I don't know. It's just kind of a conspiracy thing. I'm not big into them, but just that one lady kind of proved it to me.
Here's a question for both of y'all. Do you feel that the United States needs to be the world police?
Hells no.
Yes and no.
I think we have a responsibility upon us that we have to make sure we're helping our allies. But
I think when it comes down to it, if there's anybody that becomes an overpower that could be a definite threat to American sovereignty, then yes, we take them out.
Yeah.
Besides that, no. And that's another question I hope it's going to find out tonight. Are they going to bring up in this debate? Should we be withdrawing these billions of dollars we give other countries in aid and bringing that money back home where it belongs and where it's actually needed?
I think that we need to worry about protecting our own borders and getting our economy going again, instead of pumping all this money into other countries that we can't afford. I mean, we're at $16 trillion in debt, borrowing money from China, and yet we're giving money away to other countries. That to me seems ridiculous. I don't know if it's the libertarian in me or, the conservative Republican in me. I don't know. But I just think if the borders are secure and we have good protection around America and we're worrying about ourselves like a lot of people want us to do, then fine. We'll leave your country. Have fun. Do what you need to do. Because does England come in America and make sure we're doing everything right? Does Iraq come in here and make sure we're doing things right? No. They leave us alone and let us do our thing.
Like I said, you got to carry a big stick. You got to make countries think you're crazy enough to take them out. And they'll leave you alone. Plain and simple. You can't be weak and not attack a country that's going to be a legitimate threat against American sovereignty and the freedoms that we love and enjoy.
Right, but... Okay, when 9/11 happened in 2001...
You said you'd never forget.
I would never forget. You're evil. But, yeah, we had support coming in, but we didn't have the same support like UK coming in with their helicopters and landing down and being like, we're here with our guns and everything, like we do to other countries when they're attacked. Like when when there's something big goes on in Iraq, we load all our weapons and guns in there and we're like, okay, we're here. What's going on? That didn't happen to us on 9/11. UK said, okay, we'll help you fight the war. We'll send men off.
Japan sent some PlayStations.
Russia did that. Yeah. But they didn't come into our shores and like, here's our guns. We're here to protect you, like we do to other countries. I just see it's a double-edged sword. I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at the chat board here. Again, you can call the show to argue with us or agree, whatever you want to do, preferably argue. The number is 678-395-8609. Again, that's 678-395-8609. To the Mo Mary, I'm not gay. Thanks for asking. But I do believe in gay marriage. So you're more than welcome to call the show and argue me about that little topic. What else we got going on here? Jesse. No. Taylor Bigface says 9/11.
9/11?
He gets a joke.
Yes, thank you.
Not that 9/11's a joke. It's just an inside thing.
Not that 9/11 was an inside thing.
So the Mo Mary brings up some points. She says, I like to know what they're going to do here in America. Unemployment, hunger, homeless, suicide, Gitmo, tainted drugs. Like what Gitmo.
Yeah.
Obama said he'd close it in his first year in office. It's still alive, folks. You know, the problem is because he wants to bring all those. I think Obama wants to bring all those in custody to American soil for trials, and knows the American people will not stand behind that, and that's why Gitmo's still open.
Yep.
Also, for those that are just joining us today, you can also find us on iTunes, Town2weekly, also on YouTube as well. Please check us out and check out previous episodes. And please also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Town2weekly.
Number 2.
Also, Mark, you want to talk about your website a little bit on a Facebook account?
Yeah, we got facebook.com/tabnow, TABNOW. It's just my way of reaching out. I put up my views, my opinions. You can talk to me directly that way. You know, we're trying to reach out to the community and just, it's not all about the presidential race. It's about the local races, the state representatives, state congressmen, and all that. So it's just, I invite you to come check it out. And then, of course, Jason has his website going on.
Yeah, politicallyscrewed.com. Catch the latest blogs. I upload what I think is the most effective political ads going on in the election this year. Again, you can catch all the shows that we had on that site, and would love for you to join us there.
Awesome.
And we also welcome anyone and everyone. Town2weekly is about local and reaching out to local people, and we talk about any issue, local, state, or even federally. So please feel free to give us a call at 678-395-8609, and just tell us what's on your mind. Tell us what.
Yes, we got a question, anything in local issues. We weren't focusing too much on local today, and we haven't. I promise you, after these 2 weeks are up with the election, that we're going to hit local issues.
Well, because this election is just so important. People don't
is.
Understand how important it is to get rid of Barack Obama.
But there is a man called Jamie Hood. Is it right? Jamie Hood? The guy, the cop killer?
Oh, yeah.
Jamie Hood, killed a police officer, allegedly killed a police officer.
Found guilty by 12 of his peers.
Was he guilty?
He was found guilty by 12 of his peers.
Oh, thank you. Killed one, shot one. And he came out today during one of his hearings, I guess, for the sentencing, and read the line from The Lights Went Out in Georgia, where back Southern man...
Well, that's the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
Thank you, yeah.
That's the night that they hung an innocent man.
Yep. And that the...
Sorry, it's not a single
that the judge has blood on his hands. And
the judge got blood stains on his hand.
Yeah. So he read that in the courtroom, basically saying that he's an innocent man, the judge hanging him, and it's all a back deal kind of deal, whatever. My point is shut up, you're found guilty, you're about to get sentenced, great, that's your last words, fine, you sound like an idiot, but you have been proven without a doubt that you killed somebody who was just trying to protect people.
Well, if he thinks he's innocent, that's why you got the appeals process.
Right.
And speaking of, since we're going to talk about that, it's just a statement. It's not even a question.
Well, then I won't answer it.
You're not answering. I find it funny how liberals are willing to kill babies, but want to save murderers. Anybody get that? I don't understand that philosophy.
Yes, I know, but now we're going into abortion.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to talk about abortion today.
I mean, we could talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. We're running out of time anyway. We're down to 7 minutes. It confuses the hell out of me.
Okay. No, you're right. Yeah, I've seen that before. You're willing to kill a baby, but not the human being who killed others. Or, the Norway guy that killed 77 people in self-defense. Most of them were kids on the island. The most he can get...
77 people in self-defense.
Yeah. The most he can get is like the normal sentence in America, where it's like 40 years or life in prison.
That's crazy.
Not even. I mean, Norway has such relaxed laws when it comes to that stuff. So I'm sure Taylor Bigface actually knows those details better than I do and can answer them. But I thought that was interesting. So, Will, you got anything for us before we close up the show?
Well, I just know that, it's coming down to the wire. It's to a point where America needs to focus in and look at both parties, not...
Regardless of who you vote for.
Regardless of who you vote for, just, get educated on who you're voting for. Look outside of the debates. Look at what they've done and look at their track records.
Correct. I mean, you got two choices: a businessman or a communist. I won't tell you who's who.
I'll let you figure it out.
I'll let you figure that one out.
Well, as we close the show up, again, we'd like for you to subscribe to the show and like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/Town2weekly. That's the number 2. We're 1 like away from 100, so
almost there.
Almost there.
Slowly trucking up that hill.
Yep. So make sure you like us on Facebook. Also, give us a review on this page too, so we can get our ratings up and have more viewers come in as the time goes by. We got 2 weeks left, people. Make sure you check out your ballot. You can do it on your state level and find out who's running for office. So it's not just the president. We need to get out there and elect officials we can trust.
And by the way, you don't have to vote for everybody on a ballot. If you don't know the policies of where that person stands, skip that vote.
Yep.
I hate when people go down the ballot box and they just see that RD and they go all the way down. If you don't know the candidate at your local levels, don't vote for them. But, if you just want to go in there and vote president, that's all you got to do.
Yep. And we try and do a show every Monday at 7 o'clock. Sometimes we'll do it during the week. It just depends on what's going on. So if you subscribe, we'll send you an email when we start the show.
And we'd love to see you here again next Monday.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, and appreciate you coming out.
Toodaloo, mofos.
Thank you for joining us today, and hopefully to see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and please don't forget to subscribe below.
Hand clap, Jason, hand clap.
Ball clap. Butt clap.
We're still recording.
Are we?